Hey everyone, welcome back. So, have you ever just stopped and thought, turning 50 or 60 today feels like a completely different world than it was for our parents' generation? It's not just a feeling you're having, it's a real, profound shift in what it means to age. And yeah, it kind of feels like we're just getting into our prime. So, today, let's dive into this. Let's explore why 60 really is the new middle age. So let's just ask the big question right up front, the one I bet a lot of you have been mulling over. Why does hitting this milestone now feel less like you're winding down and more like you're just getting revved up for a new beginning, especially compared to just a few decades ago?
To really get it, we gotta hop in the time machine and go back a bit. Let's paint a picture of what the world looked like and what the mindset was around aging back in the 1980s.
Back then, the perception was pretty clear-cut. Hitting 60 was the beginning of the end. It was time to slow down, take a step back, maybe pass the baton. Society pretty much had a script for you, and it was all about winding down your career, your ambitions, your whole life, really. It was seen as the final stretch. And look, this wasn't just some vague idea. It was rooted in hard numbers. Back in 1980, the average life expectancy here in the US was just under 74 years old. So think about that. You hit 60, and on average, you had less than 14 years left. That clock was ticking. And it was ticking a whole lot louder. Okay, now let's fast forward to today, where the entire landscape has been redrawn. We're not just living longer, we're living with more energy and vitality for a lot longer. And that right there changes the entire game. Today, life expectancy has climbed up to around 79. Now, that 5-year jump isn't just a number. What it really represents is a much longer health span. Those are the years we can expect to live in good, functional health. So at 60, you're not in the final stretch anymore. You're on a much, much longer runway. So let's just put it side by side. The whole perception has flipped. It's gone from the final stretch to a new prime. It's a complete shift from winding down to gearing up for whole new chapters, maybe a new career, new adventures. And this isn't just wishful thinking. It's a reflection of our new reality. So where did all this extra time come from? Well, it wasn't just one thing. It's been decades of incredible progress. I mean, think about the huge leaps in medicine, better treatments for heart disease, for cancer. Think about big public health victories like the massive drop in smoking rates. We've just gotten so much better at managing the chronic stuff that used to be a one-way ticket. But here's the thing. It's not just about adding more years to your life, it's about adding more life to your years. And that's where the science gets really, really exciting, because our whole understanding of how we age has been completely revolutionized. And what's fascinating is, for thousands of years, ancient texts and traditions have hinted at this idea of much longer human lives. It's this powerful, recurring theme, this idea that maybe the rules of aging aren't totally set in stone. And in a weird way, that's exactly what modern science is now figuring out for itself. And that, right there, is probably the single most empowering idea to come out of modern longevity science. Aging is not a fixed clock just ticking down. It's a process, and it's a process we can actually influence. We have more control over this than any generation that came before us. So let's look at one key piece of the puzzle, our telomeres. The best way to think of them is like the little plastic tips on your shoelaces that keep them from fraying. They protect our DNA. Now, they do get shorter as we get older, but, and this is the kicker, things like chronic stress can make them shorten way faster. But a healthy lifestyle, that can help protect them. Then you've got these things called senescent cells, and their nickname is zombie cells, which is just perfect. Seriously. These are old, damaged cells that should have died, but they don't. They just hang around like bad party guests, spewing out all this inflammatory junk that damages the healthy cells around them and makes us feel older. And finally, there's a molecule called NAD+. Just think of this as the raw fuel, the battery power for your cells. It's crucial for creating energy and repairing your DNA. The catch? Well, our NAD+ levels can drop by more than half between our 40s and 60s, and that's a huge reason why our energy can sometimes take a nosedive as we get older. Okay, so knowing all this science is one thing, but what can we actually do about it? Let's get practical. This is not about turning your life into some full-time science experiment. It's all about small, consistent habits that can have a huge, huge impact. All right, here are 8 simple but really powerful signals you can send your body every single day. First, get some morning sun. It sets your body's internal clock. Second, some strength training to keep that vital muscle. Next up, a high-protein breakfast for steady energy all day. Stay hydrated. Every cell needs it. Prioritize good sleep. That's your body's repair crew. Get in a daily walk to boost circulation and your mood. Manage your stress to protect those telomeres. And finally, you might consider talking to your doctor about some of the new methods out there, like NAD+ boosters to support that cellular energy. So the key takeaway here is this. None of these are magic, but when you do them consistently, they compound. They become these little daily instructions you're giving your body, telling it to stay strong, to repair itself, and to keep performing at its best. And when you put it all together, the longer runway, the science, the practical tools, it adds up to a completely new identity, a whole new way of thinking about life after 60. You could say we are Generation Ultra, a generation that is not defined by slowing down, but by building an unstoppable legacy, and by actively transforming the reality of what it means to be 60, 70, and even older. And you know, when it's all said and done, this is what it boils down to. That number on the calendar, it's just a piece of data. What truly defines our age, our vitality, and our future is how we choose to live, day in and day out. So that leaves us with a final thought for you. Looking at that toolkit we just talked about, what's one small habit, maybe one you've let slide a bit, that you're ready to restart today? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me in the comments what that one habit is. Coming up in the next video, we'll talk about some simple, realistic ways to meet the opposite sex after 60. See you soon, stay sharp, we've got this.